Hello and welcome along again this week. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Suzanne and I garden and grow cut flowers in Devon in the UK. This week we're going to be unboxing a spring bulb order. So it's I always get really excited about it because quite often I forget what I've ordered. So we're going to go ahead now and see what I ordered and see what I'm planting, where I'm planting it and how I get on. It's a very cold day today. It's supposed to be autumn, but I've got to admit it feels very wintry to me. Sorry, I sound a bit coldy because I have got, again, a winter cold. But to cheer me up, delivery just arrived. And I can't remember exactly what I ordered, but I know that in the end I did order tulips, but not very many. So let's go ahead and see what I ordered. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Right. Is there a delivery slip in here? Gosh, I can't see one. Okay, so these are the alliums, and I grew some of these in the season we've just had. And these are the alliums with the really, really big seed heads. And these are Christophii. So how many of those have I got? So there's 25 in here. Have we got any more of those? 25 in there, that's 50. Any more of those? I don't think so. So I think I've got 50 of the Christophii. And then these are more alliums. And again, I did grow some of these. These alliums, by the way, will go in the cottage garden. And these ones are the Super Globe mixed. And there's 25 in here and 25 in there. So we've got 50 of each of the alliums. There's 100 alliums to go in the cottage garden. And then, as I say, tulips, I didn't go crazy. I think I only got 2 varieties. And I've got a feeling they're both in the same colours. Oh, hang on, what's this? I've actually got some more of the allium super glows. There's 75 of the allium. Oh, wow. For some reason I needed 100 allium super glows. I wonder if I accidentally kept clicking. But tulips, we've got, this one is Purple Doll. And this one is very similar. It's quite a popular one, Doll's Minuet, and that's like a red. Well, this is a purple, and there's 25 in here, 25 there, so that's 50 of those, 75 of those, 100 of the purple Doll. And then these must be the other tulips. Yes, I remember now. I'm not really sure why I chose this, but obviously I thought I'd give it a go. This is like a white with yellow, but I have seen on sale, and I really shouldn't do it, so I've really got to try not to do it, a really nice orange double. But I think because if I have tulip fire or they get eaten by squirrels, spending money on 200 tulips is enough. I don't really need to spend more than that. Now, I'm not going to do my tulips yet. I'm going to wait for it to get a bit colder. I might even do them like early December and just wait and see what the temperatures are like. So I just need to store these somewhere away from mice and in the dry. And then So these are the iris I grow every year. I really like them, and I probably will put these in the cut flower patch, and then I'll just dig them up and move them. And this is just the colour I like. I always grow this colour. This is King Mauve and Iris Hollandia King Mauve, and that's the colour I always grow. And I've just got 100 of those. I don't find they come back very reliably when I dig them up and move them, so I tend to order these every year. And then last but not least, and again, I've not spent so much money on these, but these are the size 6-7 corms, because I think it is better to buy the slightly bigger ones, but I can't afford to buy the bigger. This is like the medium size ones, if you like. And I've just gone for a mix, total mix of colours, and we'll wait and see if the voles eat them or not. Now these I will probably, if I can find something to pre-sprout them in. I'm not sure if I've got any compost, but I'll probably find some soil somewhere, and I will pre-sprout these today, now, in a minute, after lunch. So there we are. So that's my little, and you see I've not gone crazy. I could have, like normally I start lots of muscari and daffodils and things in pots, but I've just found sometimes I can get a bit carried away, and I need to make sure I make my money back. The alliums, though, however, are for the cottage garden. I don't use them a huge amount, particularly in retail bouquets, because I don't like the smell. But they are handy if you're doing any events. Really, really handy for that. And they look great in meadow boxes and things like that. And they're just lovely, the seed heads. So I'm really looking forward to having, in fact, I've got some of the Christophii seed heads in my sitting room, just in a tall vase, and they're absolutely beautiful. So I'm looking forward to having lots more of those this time next year, really. Lots of dried allium seed heads to be working with. Originally, I planned to put my iris bulbs into the cut flower patch, and I was going to put most of the alliums into the cottage garden and then just put a few into the cut flower patch. So I came with my iris bulbs to the area which I had thought I was going to put them, and as I was making the planting holes, they were just filling up with water where the water table is so high in here. And usually the top end of my garden, which is the original cut flower patch I had, is fairly free draining and it's not so much of a problem. So I thought, oh, that's okay, I'll try another one of the top beds, and exactly the same thing happened. The planting holes started filling up with water, so it was going to be silly to plant them in those holes, because more than likely they would have rotted off and not flowered at all next spring. So my iris bulbs have actually ended up in the cottage garden along with most of the alliums, and I'm going to see if I can just interplant a few alliums into a few of the beds in here that I haven't yet tried, to see where the water table is. But obviously if the water table's too high, then I won't be doing that. I have, in actual fact, moved my poor peonies again because the water table's so high. And although my dahlias are still flowering, I do need to think about getting them out of this really, really wet ground. We've had 2 frosts here, and one of them was fairly heavy, but actually the dahlias shrugged it off, and they've coped very well. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want them to be really, really wet in the ground and then to have a really, really hard frost and for the tubers to be ruined. So I'll add that to my ever-increasing list of things that I need to be doing. Right, okay, so we've got no water table there. Plant your iris bulbs with the pointy bit facing up, around 10 to 15 centimetres deep and about 5 to 10 centimetres apart. Plant your allium bulbs at least 3 times the depth of the size of the bulb, smaller alliums 7 to 10 centimetres apart and taller ones 20 centimetres apart. A few weeks ago, I trialled a little experiment, and I'll pop some footage of that in at some point here. I may even add the whole bit with me talking through what I'm doing. But in a nutshell, I took 2 seed trays with exactly the same compost and exactly the same corms. I think it was Avi Purple Ranunculus. And 1 tray, I soaked those Ranunculus corms as I have done every year that I've ever grown them. And the 2nd tray, I didn't soak them. I just put them into the compost dry and then just watered them from above, because basically I wanted to see what the difference would be if the dry ones would indeed sprout. And in actual fact, I will now put in some other footage. Yeah, both sprouted, so it begs the question, have I just been wasting my time soaking these corms and then waiting for them to plump up before I plant them? Can I just plant them and water them? And actually, because I couldn't really see any reason to continue soaking them, I didn't. So I went ahead and I planted all the remainders of my ranunculus without soaking them. So fingers crossed that that was the right decision. So I have started roughly half of my ranunculus corms in seed trays, and those ones will be transplanted when they've got some good leaf growth on them, and they'll be transplanted out to my low tunnel, but probably just actually covered with EnviroMesh. And the other half of my corms are going to be started in crates, and they will stay in those crates. So what I'll do, once they've sprouted, I will then add some more compost on top, and then they will grow on in my polytunnel. So this is my first winter going in spring where I'm going to have the polytunnel. My direct sowing has not been all that successful. Well, I'm having some slug issues. I mentioned that my slug issues outside improved because the birds were being very helpful, but I'm actually looking at a snail right now on my polythene of the tunnel. So isn't it weird? You've all watched how I will dispatch a slug. It's like favoritism. I can't squish that snail. I will just throw it. And a friend of mine did an experiment where they marked all the shells on these snails and threw them. And a few weeks later, they did all come back. So it will just stop him eating my plants for a few weeks, but I can't squish him. Well, thank you again for joining me this week. Do let me know in the comments, are you still waiting for your spring bulb order? Have you gone ahead and ordered any more bulbs? I have to make a confession that since filming the bulb order I unpacked here, I may have placed another order. So I'm waiting that, and I'm quite excited about that order because I'm going to try and grow something that I've not grown before, and that's because I have now got a tunnel. So I've ordered some English bluebells, and they're to go in the cottage garden. I do have odd ones that really are, wild and are growing in there, but I would just like to add a few more. So we've got some English bluebells coming, but then I've gone ahead and ordered something. It does have a more common name, something lily, I think, but Lixia. And I've gone ahead and I've ordered some of those to grow in crates in the tunnel. I've ordered all the same colour. Whether or not I should have ordered the mix, I don't know. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to unboxing those. So please do let me know which spring bulbs you're growing, where you're planting them. Are you going to be like me and hold off on planting your tulips for a day or two longer? And how do you plant your ranunculus? Have you always never soaked them and they've always grown on fine? I'd love to know. Thanks again for watching. If you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to follow my gardening and growing journey, then please do subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to contribute towards the making of these videos, then you can do that. There's a link in the description, which is to buy me a coffee. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.